What if I told you a $300 million startup, backed by Y Combinator, funded by Insight Partners, celebrated on Forbes 30 Under 30, was running a fraud so lazy, so brazen, so unsophisticated that the method was literally find and replace? Not deepfakes, not a sophisticated AI scheme, find and replace. They copy-pasted this same compliance report, same grammatical errors, same keyboard mash test values, same everything across 494 companies. Nobody caught it. Not the investors, not the regulators, not the auditors, because the auditors were a shell company with a Delaware address and a Delhi zip code negotiating compliance reports over WhatsApp. A whistleblower with a public Google spreadsheet caught it. This is BuzzOn Tech. We scrolled the comments so you don't have to. Section 2. Here's what happened. The company is called Delve. They sold SOC 2 and ISO 27001 compliance certifications, the security certs that let startups close enterprise deals in days, not months, for a fraction of the usual cost. Real SOC 2 Type 2 requires a 6 to 12-month observation period. Delve was doing it in days for $6,000. How? They wrote the audit reports themselves before any actual audit occurred. The auditor conclusions, test procedures, board meeting minutes, all pre-filled, pre-signed by shell companies you could text on WhatsApp to negotiate a passing grade. Across 259 Type 2 reports, 0 security incidents, 0 personnel changes, 0 cyber events for every single client across every observation window. Statistically impossible. The keyboard mash test values, SDF, DLKJF, G, appeared character for character identical across hundreds of unrelated companies. On April 4, 2026, Y Combinator issued a statement. 6 words. We have asked Delve to leave. Then, we wish them well. We'll come back to that. Section 3. What the pros say. TechCrunch quoted a researcher who put it plainly, Delve placed itself in the role of both implementer and examiner, generating auditor conclusions before any independent review occurred. Quote, this is not a technicality. It is a structural fraud that invalidates the entire attestation. They were, quote, baffled by the laziness, clumsiness, and brazenness of it. Inc. magazine reported companies pulling away after a Substack expose alleged Delve was faking compliance while creating the illusion of adherence. Named victims included Lovable, Cluely, and Wistflow. The CEO fired back, claiming 2 cybersecurity forensic specialists concluded this was a coordinated, targeted cyber attack rather than a genuine whistleblower. He said the company expanded too quickly and fell short, but denied fraud. Meanwhile, TechCrunch noted that Insight Partners appeared to have quietly deleted their posts about the investment. Quietly deleted their posts. Section 4. What YouTube thinks. YouTube had seen enough. The most liked comment, 2,341 likes, went like this. What is the one skill that separates a good founder from a great founder? Jail time. I'll let that breathe. Another one, they saw what Elizabeth Holmes did and said, hold my beer, except Holmes at least had the decency to fake cutting-edge technology. These guys faked PDFs. The innovation floor is underground. And this from someone who actually worked at a Delve-certified startup. We managed to speedrun compliance in weeks by uploading complete garbage into their portal. I've been waiting for them to get hit with a massive lawsuit. Section 5. Transition to Reddit.
But wait until you hear what Reddit did with this. Section 6. What Reddit thinks. Reddit's top comment was a public service announcement. If your company used Delve, you may be exposed to criminal liability under HIPAA and fines of 4% of revenue under GDPR. Arrange for an independent audit right away. That's not commentary, that's an emergency broadcast. Then someone called out the buyers. The real scandal is how many enterprise companies accepted these reports without a second look. Identical reports for 494 companies, 0 incidents across every audit period, and not one procurement team flagged it. Delve faked it, but buyers were asleep at the wheel. And one that cut clean through the CEO's playbook. The AI-generated email response is hilarious in retrospect, given that the company was literally generating fake compliance reports with AI. Pot meet kettle. Section 8. What X thinks. One post hit 1.1 million views and nearly 10,000 likes. The post? Incredible. At this point, we need to put the Forbes editors in charge of the FBI. The replies did not disappoint. Forbes 30 Under 30 is basically a fraud prediction index at this point. Holmes, SBF, now these two. You could have a profitable short selling strategy just tracking the list. 2,100 likes. The Forbes editors have certified more fraudsters than the SEC has prosecuted. At least the FBI occasionally catches people. 1,840 likes. And on YC statement, I love that YC's official response was, "We have asked Delve to leave. We wish them well." That's the startup equivalent of "bless your heart." One reply stood alone. If Deep Delver hadn't found that public Google sheet, this probably runs for years. No regulator caught it. Substack is now the last line of defense for compliance integrity. Section 9, 5 biggest themes from 126 comments across YouTube, Reddit, and X. Theme 1, compliance theater. The internet found the same metaphor from every direction. This wasn't a compliance platform, it was a stage set. Green check marks before you'd done anything. Board minutes preloaded for you to click accept. Certificates issued before the observation period started. One comment, Delve just removed the last 20% of real compliance and sold the box as the product. The market rewarded them with $32 million for it. Theme 2, Forbes 30 under 30 is a fraud pipeline. The list is cooked. Every platform, every thread. The Forbes branding was used to sell credibility to investors and clients. The irony that it now sits next to Holmes and SBF was not lost on anyone. These two made Forbes 30 under 30 for building a compliance tool that violated every compliance rule it was supposed to certify. The irony is so thick you could audit it. Theme 3, VC and YC due diligence collapse. Nobody looked. Insight Partners saw YC's stamp. Enterprise clients saw Insight Partners' name. And when it blew up, Insight Partners deleted their posts. YC said, "We wish them well." Gary Tan posted, "Delve is now a top YC startup," to 175,000 people. Someone should pin that next to the "We have asked Delve to leave" announcement for posterity. Theme 4, real-world harm. This one is not funny. Companies holding fake HIPAA certifications. A supply chain attack traced through Delve's fraudulent SOC 2, touching 97 million downloads. The blast radius here extends well beyond startup drama. This isn't a startup scandal, it's a healthcare security crisis.
He called a detailed whistleblower expose containing real client signatures, real architectural diagrams, and his co-founder's own Gmail as a test entry, an AI-generated email, while running a company that generated fake AI compliance reports. The claims are false, but the evidence in them is real. That is not a defense. Section 11, BuzzCheck verdict. We've read the pro takes, we've read YouTube, Reddit, and X. We've tracked 5 themes across 126 opinions: angry, amused, alarmed. Here is what BuzzOn Check has decided. This was not a shortcut. It was not move fast and break things. It was a business model built entirely on the gap between what compliance looks like and what it actually is. They didn't just fake the audits, they built fake auditors. Shell companies to sign reports they wrote themselves. They stole source code from a fellow YC startup and sold it at $200,000 a seat. And when it all came out, they called it a cyber attack. Our BuzzCheck verdict? Find and replace fraud. Section 12. Sign off. That's the buzz. Comment responsibly. We scrolled the comments so you don't have to. End of script.